Why hello there, and welcome back to Tabletop Ferox, the show where I see if it rocks the tabletops. That is a terrible thing that I have never said before, and I don't think I will be saying again. And in this episode, I am going to be looking at something very special. Dahlia's Diversions for Peculiar Parties, which is a collection of small role-playing games, all contained within a little cardboard envelope. So basically this is 8 different little micro role-playing games from 8 different designers, and brought to you by Steve Jackson Games, which is really cool that they are going out of their way to get little games from little designers and publish them to a wider audience, because smaller games and smaller designers do tend to get completely overlooked in the general tabletop role-playing game ecosystem. So enough of me just rambling on about this thing in theory. Let's get it open and see what's inside. So here it is. Dahlia's Diversions for Peculiar Parties, 8 bite-sized storytelling and role-playing games to amuse and delight gatherings of 1 to 7. And I am 1, so I qualify. So let's check it out. A sweet sampler of short role-playing games for every occasion. Play as a rat who writes poetry, an occult librarian, a shrewd granny. Dahlia's collection has the right tabletop diversion for whoever comes to call. Hand-picked and lovingly annotated in my very own parlor. So we have 8 games, and also bonus ephemera from Dahlia's collection. And I am not familiar with any of these games, with one notable exception, and some of you know which exception that is, and the rest of you will soon know what exception that is. So yes, that is the thing. It is in this cardboard envelope. So let's open it up and check out what is inside. Games. That's what's inside. You sure got it? No, I didn't. I didn't get everything. All right, that is everything. So we got a bunch of stuff here. As I said, I am not familiar with any of these except the one. So let's see what we got here. Dahlia's Diversion for Peculiar Parties. Okay. We got a little introduction letter here. Dear reader, I can only assume that if you are in possession of this artifact, I have regrettably passed on. No, your sympathies will do me no good. Besides, I take great comfort and, dare I say, pride in imagining that my humble parlor gatherings have enjoyed such a sensational reputation that you now hold a facsimile of my famed box of entertainments. How lucky I am, or was, to have this singular container wind up in the hands of someone who, recognizing its potential, faithfully reproduced its contents down to my last annotation. Ahem. But enough about me. Let me tell you about my diversions. In this collection you will find 8 of my favorite follies, of surely hundreds that have been tested in my parlor over the years. This is an attempt to create a true sampler with no 2 offerings quite alike. As with a box of unusual chocolates, not every item will be to your particular tastes, but you will learn more about those tastes if you approach each new flavor with an open mind. I'll introduce each game on the back of this letter, then leave you to explore. Au revoir, Dahlia. And editor's note, found this in the deep archives labeled "To Published, I Promised." Inside were a handful of games and the letter you just read. No one else would admit to knowing anything about it, so I took it and ran. Anyway, what you see here is as close to what I found as we could legally publish. I hope Dahlia would approve. There were illegal things. Okay, so, yeah, we got a little introduction to each game, as well. So, let's start with Writing the Ley Line, which is Before I even get into the individual games, so another really cool thing about this is just like so many different formats. We have lots of different games in lots of different formats. It's not just a bunch of one-page games. It's a bunch of short games in different formats, and y'all know me. Y'all know I like different formats. So, Riding the Ley Line. A solo mini LARP to play on public transit. Which is folded up, I'm guessing, like a map. Let's see what it says here. Riding the Ley Lines is unique among this list, as you'll play it all on your own. Bring the map along on your next train voyage, and see where it takes you. I am probably doing that accent really inconsistently. Well, too bad that's what I'm doing. So, yeah. I was right. My assumption that it unfolded like a map was correct. The ley line cannot be a math document. Okay. I'm going to actually read this and then give my thoughts on it, because I can't really just give you my impressions from looking at it like this real quickly. So, through editing, I will have finished reading it, and I have now read it, and so yeah, it's a game that you basically take this along on your train ride, and imagine that you are taking a more exciting train line through different directions. The maps have stops, and those provide you with little prompts that you can contemplate. This one's a little weird, but I like that it's weird. I think I ironically picked up the weirdest one to start with, because it was the one that seemed the most interesting to pick up out of the package. So that is cool. A little LARP, like very minimal to no rules, but I like the idea of it asking you to, like, sit in a place doing a thing and imagine you're just doing a more exciting version of that thing. I'm not sure if I've ever seen a game before that doesn't ask you to interact with any way other than just, like, reflecting and thinking. And that is kind of neat. Especially for one designed to be played on public transit, where if you had, like, a journal and dice and stuff, people might look at you weird. I mean, they might look at you weird for, pulling this out and being like, or maybe they'll think it's a map. Who knows? All right, so, that one's pretty cool. What's next? Rat me a poem, sweetheart. Ah! I dropped one of them. I will pick it up later. Rat me a poem, sweetheart, is a brief improvisational pursuit for three. Try it over afternoon tea. Alright, so, what's we got going on here? Rat. I like the rat. The rat has a pencil. I like the rat with a pencil there. I like rats. Alright, so once again, I am going to use magic to have read this instantly. So, having now read, I quite like this one. Basically, you have a Ratstermind, Puppet, and Beloved, and the Ratstermind must compose a poem for the Beloved, which is then delivered by the Puppet. But also, there's, like, different rules, kinda, for each of the three roles, but, like, specific things they must do at specific times. I like that. I like having multiple different, clearly defined roles for the multiple players in games. That is a thing that almost no one does, and that's a cool one here. And, like, it's a bit more complicated than that. Like, the Puppet must, make small talk with the Beloved, which the Ratstermind will then overhear and use that information to write the poem, and then must slip the poem to the Puppet, and they must deliver it. A whole bunch of stuff. A little bit more complicated than you'd think. So far, yeah, this one's pretty cool too. So, what else have we got here in this? I will pick up this one because this is the one that I knocked over earlier and then picked up when I was doing the magic. The TV magic. Overdue, a game of magical research. Overdue is a treat for library lovers, occultists, and the research inclined. Oh, those are 3 things that describe me. This one practically hosts itself, so pull it out when you need to entertain a surprise guest or 3. Oh, I know a better way to entertain a surprise guest or 3, but I can't talk about it unless I want the video to be demonetized. Alright, so once again, gonna do some TV magic. And finished because of magic. So this one is about apprentice librarians at the, it said it here, Omnifold Interlibrary Network, tasked with retrieving overdue books, overdue magic books, from people who have kept them out too long, using magic. So, another fun idea. Well, so the thing I really like about this one is that it is a multiplayer game that asks you to essentially rotate GMing duty. Another fun thing that you don't see in a lot of games, because it gives everyone a chance to play and run the game. So, another fun one, not too deep, but as it said in the thing, pretty good for if you have some surprise guests and you're like, hey, let's play a game that we don't have to put much prep into. I mean, I don't think you need to put too much prep into any of these. So, what is next? This one is next in the pile. No, this is not it. This is... Okay, and there is a little additional note here in the box to look at. So we will look at that. Probably should have looked at this sooner. Dahlia kept her collection in an old candy box. To stay true to her DIY spirit, here are some pieces you can use to decorate a box or binder to hold your own set. Feel free to mix it in any other zine games you feel fit the vibes. It is what Dahlia would have done, I'm sure. If you do anything creative to contain this game, show us on social media and in Dahlia's sitting room on the SJ Games Discord server. For an invite link, a copy of the printout, and other goodies, go to sjgames.com/Dahlia. Alright, so got little labels you can put on stuff. Little wax seal things. Let's see. And I guess this is a note from Dahlia. Keeping a few odds and ends in your box of diversions will allow you to host at a moment's notice. The key to great improvisation is preparation. Here are the items I make sure to keep stocked in my own collection. 3x5 index cards, a healthy stack, writing utensils, various, player printouts, overdue forms times 12, evidence trackers times 3, grandma's club cards times 6. Those things will make sense later when I talk about the games. Dice, 2d6, 1d4, 1d8, 1d10, and as many extras as you want. You can never have too many dice. That's true. Yeah, ooh, can't have too many dice. This is one of my 3 jars of dice. P.S. A sprig of rosemary in the box will keep your dice friendly. Or not. Rosemary's overpowering in my opinion. So yeah. Murder Most Foolish. Okay. Let's see what Dahlia has to say about Murder Most Foolish. Murder Most Foolish plunges a large group into a murder mystery with a zany twist. Great for dinner parties with the theatrical sort. Well, who else would be having dinner parties? Alright, so Murder Most Foolish. Everyone's a suspect because everyone did it. Alright, and now for as I have been doing, the magic. And done reading with magic internet stuff. So this one is a murder mystery game where everyone has a reason to commit the murder. I will say one of those games that only works with the right group of people. So one person's a detective, or that role could be shared, and then everyone else is a suspect of a murder, who are then interviewed, and evidence is gathered, which could make a case against any or all of them, because it is all of them. So once again, this is really one of those games that everyone has to be in on it. Like, there aren't really any mechanics for did you do it or not. You are just interviewed by the detective, and you give your story. So it is one of those things where you have to be basically in on the joke of the game. You have to be in it for the fun, which I really wish I did not have to specify things like this when I'm reviewing games. But yes, to enjoy this game, you have to be someone who actually wants to enjoy this game and isn't trying to win it. Unfortunately, a thing I have to specify. Alright, so what's next in the thing? Gritty Reboot. Gritty Reboot invites players to revisit a treasured childhood story together. This one will delight in disgust and benefits from a truly twisted host. Best at a late-night soiree. Hey, I'm a truly twisted host. Some would say with the most. Okay, so as expected, this is a game about putting together a gritty reboot of a beloved childhood thing. A piece of media from your collective childhood. There we go. A gritty reboot, like Winnie the Pooh, the Velveteen Rabbit, or Oliver Twist, or Popeye the Sailor Man. Okay, admittedly, Popeye the Slayer Man is a really good title, as is Screamboat Willie. Like, I hate these things, but those are good puns. I have to acknowledge that those are good puns. And this is polymorph based, which means your character is defined by a single die, which you roll for all tasks, which is a thing that seems like it wouldn't work, but it absolutely does. If you want more information on that, you can watch my review of Ball of the Wild, where I explain how that works. So that is basically it. There's a little bit more to it, stuff with the budget and budget tokens and getting bad reviews. But if I told you everything about the game, then you wouldn't have to read it yourself. This is a short review video because I'm reviewing 8 games. I don't have time to cover every game in depth. I don't have time to cover any of them in depth. Alright, next up. Grandma Club. What do we say about Grandma Club? Grandma Club will let its unlikely heroes steal the show and your heart as they save the village. This one really livens up a Sunday dinner. Alright, now to the reading. Alright, so, Grandma Club is about things that I'm going to have to read. The annual Billinghamshire County Best Village Award always goes to Lower Puffington, but today mishaps and mayhem threaten the town's idyllic atmosphere, and the award jury has turned up early. Can the Lower Puffington Ladies Auxiliary Society save the day? And that's what this one is. So you play as a group of old ladies trying to wow the judges for the Billinghamshire County Best Village Award. Using your green thumb, hot hat pins, bakery, handbag, needlecraft, and nice cuppa. So this one's fairly simple. Just you go through a series of scenes at 5 different locations trying to impress the judges with how great your town is and putting up with, troubles like the bake sale has been double booked with a college fraternity's fundraising event. Oh no. So, little quaint game, fairly traditional in its actual application, but fun little idea. Okay, the social season. The social season cordially invites you to a season of intrigue, scandal, and romance. Recommended for experienced hosts who are comfortable improvising. Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out here. So far, all of these games seem like they would be best for experienced hosts who are comfortable improvising. It seems like there's a lot of improv going on here. But, the social season, I will now look at. This one's a little booklet. Alright, so, this is... It's a Honey Heist-like, where you are members of an extended family on the brink of ruin. Can you work together to land an advantageous match and secure your family's station in high society? Or will you give over to jealousy and competition? So, composure, scandal, as I said, Honey Heist-like, stats change, back and forth. I've looked at dozens of games like this, and probably so have you. So, that one's a little disappointing. But now, the game that some of you have been waiting for the entire video, some of you haven't been waiting for but are going to be pleasantly surprised by, and some of you aren't really going to care about even when you see why it's a big deal. 3 Raccoons in a Trench Coat, a game of shenanigans and deception by Z Gosk. Wait a minute, that's me. Yes, this is my game. I wrote this game. I didn't illustrate it. I illustrated the original version. This version is illustrated by Bas Govard. I am terrible at pronouncing names, but that's who did the art. Art looks great. I can already tell you this game is great. I don't even need to read it. I can just tell you that it's a game where you play as 3 raccoons in a trench coat, trying to navigate some sort of complex and delicate social situation like going on a date or a job interview, all the while trying to hide the fact that you are 3 raccoons in a trench coat. I should probably read this because I've been reading all the others. 3 raccoons in a trench coat requires no further explanation from the likes of me. 3 players, 1 host. Yeah, it's a silly little raccoon game. You don't need to explain it. The title explains it all. So, this is obviously the best game in the package, because even if I hadn't written it, which I did, it would still be about 3 raccoons in a trench coat, using little grabby arms and disguising themselves to do such amusing things as acquiring a dozen eggs from the market. So, pretty simple. Basically, each of the 3 positions you can occupy do different things. The head must talk and observe. The middle operates the arms, and the bottom moves around. And then you have to all coordinate or switch places. It is a bit of a silly game, but I make silly games. Y'all might have noticed that before. Particularly like the design here, because this is the first time I'm seeing it in print, so I really like the trench coat too. Design. That is a nice element that I enjoy. So it looks great. It's the same rules that I wrote out that you know and love. 3 raccoons in a trench coat, the original 3 things in a trench coat role-playing game, available in print for the first time and probably last time. So if you want a print copy, a very rare print copy of 3 raccoons in a trench coat, this is where you can get one, in Dahlia's Diversions for Peculiar Parties. A interesting little collection of little games. Not everyone is going to be for every person. I try to look at them all from the perspective of who would enjoy them. So some of them I like, some of them I'm fairly indifferent towards, but you might like them more than I do. Also, just for full disclosure, I do not receive royalties from this, so they have paid me. These are my honest opinions. This has been given to me for free, but that is because I am a contributor to it, not as a reviewer. So yeah, you can get this now or soon. I don't know. It's not up to me, it's up to Steve Jackson Games, so I'll put a link in the description, and then whenever you can get it from them, you will be able to. And I think that's really all I have to say on this particular topic. A bit of a random video. Normally I do take more than a single read through to get my thoughts together before I review a game, so this was very much literally me reading these for the first time and then giving my immediate first impression thoughts on them, so hopefully it's a coherent video that is of some use to anyone out there in viewer land. So, end of the video. And thank you for watching. If you enjoy the wacky things I say and do, you can follow me on Blue Sky and or Tumblr.
You can also join me live on Twitch, where sometimes things get a little weird. And extra special thanks to my Fightin' Flail Snails, Broken Unicorn, D-Stex, Nikolai Snowtail, Plaid Mouse, Puggo, Randy Mulholland, Renee D, Stephen Kramer, Tila Glar, Toshirokuro, and Tyro the Fox. If you want to be cool like them, check out my Patreon or YouTube channel memberships. 2 different things that provide similar but distinct benefits. But if you don't want to do that, that's cool too. You can still hit all the lovely buttons, like, subscribe, these other videos that have mysteriously manifested from the ethers, which I am sure are lovely videos that you will also enjoy. And I will see you next time.